Hi guys, in this video we are talking about how to become a software developer. So if you are a beginner or if you try to learn software programming, then what are the steps that you can apply to become a good software developer? This is not for who knows already good in programming or who is already good in programming concepts. This is specifically for the beginners who wants to learn programming actually. Okay, so the first step is about to become a good software developer. You should have a good analyzing skill, because whatever the programming language which you are going to learn, the analyzing skill is very important, correct? So the analyzing skill is the first step which you should have a which you should need to become a good programmer. Then next step is about to problem solving skills. See, whenever we are doing any particular project or website designing or whatever it may be, server side programming, so problem solving skills is very important, because most of the projects we used to have a problems, right? So if you have a good problem solving skills, it will help us to apply our solutions or apply our knowledge to solve the problem. So good problem solving skills which helps us to become a good software developer. To understand whether you have a good problem solving skills or not, maybe we can say, if you are interested in programming, if you are interested in maths or any other logical games, then we could say that you are having good problem solving skills. But again, we cannot say abruptly that you should have a interest in maths, because some of the people who is good in programming, they may not have interested in maths also. So we cannot say that you should have a good knowledge in maths or you should have interest in maths, because maybe you can try it out, you can learn some programming and try to check that you have a good problem solving skills or not. So but the next step is, the second step is about you should have a good problem solving skills. Okay, the third step is, or we can say the third point is, you should have a adapt yourself for the new technologies, because as we know, always the programming trend is always getting changed. I think when I started my programming like 2000 and so some like 10 years back or something, initially I started with C++, I think so, like 10 years 15 years back. So that time, but now I am working on Java with Spring Boot, and then Angular with React and Mainstack, Express.js also came, the Node framework. So we cannot say always this has to be only programming language which helps you to till your end of the career. No, we cannot say. So the main to become a programmer, we should adapt ourselves to learn new programming languages. Okay, so which means, if you know or if you try to learn a programming language, the first point is about try to understand the concept. Instead of try to memorize or something, try to understand the concept. So if you know the concept of particular programming language, it can help us to learn next programming also. For example, just consider the for loop. The for loop which we are using in a Java, the same thing will apply to the JavaScript also. So whatever the JavaScript for loop will apply to the PHP as well. So only the minor syntax change will happen, of course, right? But however, the for loop, the if conditions, the while loop, whatever the other operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then collections, array, object array, index array, everything will, I think maybe if you are a beginner, maybe you may not understand the technical term. Okay, so in case like whatever the programming concepts, like all the basic things will be available in other programming languages also. Okay, so if you know one programming language without memorizing the concepts, if you understand the concepts, it helps us to understanding other programming languages as well. So try to understand the concept instead of memorizing the concepts actually. Okay, so yes, this is the third. Actually, fourth is about, as I explained earlier, don't try to memorize the concept, try to understand the concept. So once you understand the concept, it helps us to understanding other languages as well. And even when it comes to new technologies, again, whatever the programming languages come, still they will also use the same for loop, conditions, operators, and oops concept, functions, methods, and objects creations. Okay, so that is the reason whenever we are learning programming languages, it's good that we try to understand the concept instead of memorizing the concepts actually. Okay, yes, I hope these are the different steps or points we can apply when it comes to new programming languages. I hope people will have a lot of suggestions for this thing. You can post it in my comments, like what are the other suggestions you want to help, or if you have any other clarifications regarding my steps, you can let me know in the comments also. Okay, so now the next thing is what language you can start Okay, so because now you have an interest to learn some programming languages, correct? So now what language you can start? So as per my experience, I start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then PHP and MySQL. Okay, so these are the very easiest languages, as well as yes, as I told, it's a very easiest language, and it's good beginners also, because when it comes to Java, it needs lots of OOPS concept. The starting point itself OOPS concept. But when it comes to PHP or JavaScript, it does not expect you to push you to the apply the OOPS concept. Okay, so when you start programming with JavaScript and PHP or HTML, CSS, you will understand website development, as well as you will understand server side development also. So if you, and moreover, these languages does not push us to learn or apply the OOPS concept. So once you good at programming languages, how it works, all these things, then you can apply OOPS concept. Yes, OOPS is very important, because we cannot neglect the OOPS, or we cannot ignore the OOPS. So but however, initially if you start your programming career with OOPS concepts, it may take some time to understand all the concepts. So that is the reason I am telling, like, first try to understand the basics of programming languages in JavaScript and PHP, MySQL. MySQL is the database. So once you understand all these things, then it will, you can easily apply you can go to the next step is about OOPS concept. Okay, so my suggestion is always go with HTML, CSS, JavaScript is a front end development, and then PHP, MySQL is specifically for the back end development. I hope that lots of people will have a different clarifications and different suggestions also. That's fine, that's your wish actually. Again, it's my suggestion. I am not telling this is the one solution. There will be a lot of other solutions also. Okay, and then once you are good in this JavaScript and PHP, then as I told earlier, try to apply the OOPS concept in JavaScript, try to apply the OOPS in PHP. So once you are good in this JavaScript, PHP, then if you want to learn something, then go for the Java also. And if not, maybe you don't like JavaScript, PHP directly, if you want to jump into the Java with OOPS concept, that is also fine. If you have that courage to learn Java in OOPS, then that's fine, because as I interact with a lot of students in colleges and who personally sending me messages in the email and all, they used to tell me like they started with Java OOPS concept in terms of programming. So which means when they started their programming career, they started with Java also. So yes, it is also happened, but if you are a self-taught programmer, still you want to learn with yourself, my suggestion is always go with JavaScript, PHP, MySQL, and then you can apply the OOPS concept in JavaScript, and then you can go for the OOPS in PHP. Okay, so once you are comfortable with OOPS in JavaScript and OOPS in PHP, then go for the OOPS concept in Java also. Okay, so once you are comfortable with all these things like OOPS in Java, then go for the Spring Boot actually. So, but if you notice this thing, I told on the PHP language. So if once you are good in PHP, after learning this Java with OOPS concept, the Spring Boot will be very easy for you to understand, because you already have a good knowledge in PHP with the server side development. So along with that, if you have a good knowledge in Java, then learning the Spring Boot will not take that much time, because it's a HTTP request and all these things. That's right. So this is my suggestions. So first is about good analyzing skills, then problem solving skills, then interest to adapt your new technologies. Don't try to memorize the concept, try to understand the concept. This is the first 4 points to become a good programmer. In order to start your career, go for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, MySQL, then apply the OOPS concept in JavaScript, apply the OOPS in PHP, then apply the OOPS in Java, and of course after Java you can go for the Spring Boot also. I hope this has a good career also. You can earn too much money in terms of programming career. Now in this, I think if you have this much knowledge, I hope there is a lot of companies available in India, in all over India, maybe in all over world also. And again, there is a lot of freelancing opportunity that where you can work from your home also. You can get jobs from abroad without going abroad. You can get lot of projects in your home itself. So yes guys, I think this is fine, and yes, I hope you have a good idea. If you have any idea or if you have any other clarifications, just try to post in my comments. Okay, thank you.